Hello everyone, my name is Laura Rizak and I'm the Associate Rector at St. Stephen's Episcopal Church in Charleston, South Carolina. And I'm glad to be with you today for our family faith formation. It is almost Christmas, isn't it? We have just a few more days of Advent left before we get into our celebration of Christmas. And what I'd like to do today is talk to you a little bit about how you might, as a family, just as you've been observing the Advent season, how you might then shift to celebrating the Christmas season. Now, this is a difference between the church calendar and then the world calendar. For the church, Christmas ends on December 25th. And there's a lot of build-up, right, where we're listening to Christmas carols on the radio and there's Santa Claus and everything else. A lot of build-up until December 25th, and then it cuts off and we're no longer in the Christmas season. Well, the church is a little bit different. In the church, we're in the season of Advent, which goes from Advent 1, which is the Sunday, usually right around Thanksgiving, up through December 24th. That's the season of waiting, the season of preparation, where we're getting ready for Christmas, more of a quieter time, where we're celebrating, still celebrating, right? It's still a really wonderful and joyful time in many ways in the church, but it's definitely not as maybe outwardly festive yet in Advent until we get to Christmas. Christmas Day is when we have that big celebration. We're going to have wonderful Christmas Eve services this year at St. Stephen's. We've got a 4 p.m. one specifically for children and families, and then of course a 7 o'clock and a 9 o'clock on Christmas Eve that all are welcome to, and then a 10 o'clock on Christmas Day. So we're doing those big celebrations. But Christmas in the church is not just one day. Christmas lasts for 12 days. That old song about the 12 days of Christmas, right? Well, that comes from practice in the church. And the way that I explain this to people, and especially to kids, is that Jesus coming to be with us, that was and is such a big mystery, such a big, wonderful mystery, that we can't really confine it just to one day, that we need several days in order to fully appreciate the mystery and the wonder and the joy of Christmas. So I have a couple of ideas for your family about how to bring that sense of the Christmas season, not just Christmas Day, but the Christmas season into your family life. Now, this is easier in some ways for Advent, right? In Advent, we really lean into the festivities that we all have. And we have some things that we've offered in the church, like Advent wreaths, right? You can see I haven't been burning mine because the wax gets on the stone and it's hard to get off. So I have another wreath that I actually burn. This is just one I set out for decoration. We have Advent wreaths that we've been using to mark the day, maybe Advent calendars. This is my dog's Advent calendar here. He's kind of, can I come over here? Yeah, you could be a guest in the video. So he's been watching me the whole time. So there are things that we've done during Advent really to mark this special season, and Christmas should be no different. So what I recommend for your family during the Christmas season from December 25th on through January 5th is really continue to listen to the Christmas carols. The radio shuts them off right after December 25th. It's still Christmas for us. And in fact, if you come to church on the 2 Sundays after Christmas, December 26th and January 2nd, we're going to be singing Christmas carols because it's still Christmas. So go ahead and still sing those Christmas carols. Leave your tree up as long as it doesn't become a fire hazard. We're going to leave our tree up all the way through the Epiphany on January 6th. Leave that tree up. Leave your nativity scene if you've had it up, right? And you can talk with your kids about it's still Christmas. We've had that journey to Bethlehem, and now Jesus is in the manger, and the Holy Family's there, and the shepherds are there, and how wonderful is it that we can just stay right there in the manger scene for a while, that we can stay in that joy for 12 whole days. If you're using a nativity scene, one of the things you can also do is talk with people in your family about how the wise men, we often put them in nativity scenes, right? Well, the wise men aren't there yet. They're still on their journey to see Jesus. So that's another thing that you could do during the Christmas season, is you could talk about how the wise men are slowly getting closer and closer to that manger scene. You could even every day during the Christmas season move your little figurines of the wise men maybe one step closer. Would you like to help with the nativity scene? Oh, I bet you would. Another thing that you could do is, and this is really the best thing I think that you could think about with your families, is a way to celebrate the Christmas season by actually doing some of the things that Jesus commanded us to do. I saw a great meme on Facebook, and it talked about, oh, good boy, lie down, good boy. It talked about ways to keep the Christ in Christmas. And sometimes when we think about keeping the Christ in Christmas, we think about people saying, oh, well, that means saying Merry Christmas instead of Happy Holidays. Well, I don't really think that that's what keeping the Christ in Christmas means. Keeping the Christ in Christmas means feeding the hungry. It means visiting the lonely, visiting the sick and those in prison, clothing the naked, right? So maybe one thing you could think about with your family is a way that you could continue to show Christ's love throughout this season to people that maybe are having a hard time right now, whether that's in their financial lives, right? Because they might be struggling with money, or if they're lonely. This is a really great time to maybe reach out to neighbors, right? If you've got a neighbor that, doesn't seem to have much family, right? Maybe leaving them a nice little card would be something to do. Maybe getting in touch with one of your local food banks. There's a lot of donations that pick up right before Christmas because people are in that kind of generous and gift-giving mood. And then sometimes after Christmas, there can be a bit of a drop-off sometimes. So if you've got a food bank in your neighborhood that serves the people in your community, maybe thinking about a way that you could make a donation as a family, or make a monetary donation, or donate your time if there's an organization that could use your help, right? So maybe think as a family about if there's a way that you could keep the Christ in the Christmas season by doing a tangible act of service and love to your neighbors and to your community. Be well, friends. Stay safe. Wear your mask. I hope we'll see you at one of our Christmas Eve or Christmas Day services. Take care. Merry Christmas.